Hello everyone, Vincent Briatore here. So I'm back. Well, I've always been here, but I haven't been recording as much. So I decided to make a video today, specifically about this pie chart that CNBC posted. I'm showing you here on the screen about, I guess, the ideal savvy, frugal individual at 25, making $100,000 a year, and how he spends his money. So this just kind of made me question things. I decided to make my own list with it showing a little bit more of on the savings and investing side of things. First, let's go over a few of the things that I found peculiar about this list and some of the theories floating around about it. So the $100,000 a year, apparently the guy saves about 50%. I did the calculations here. So if you're charged about 25 to 30% tax, that'd leave you with about like $5,400 per month. You know, so if he saves about 50%, that drops you right at $2,700 a month of disposable income. So he's saving half, he's spending half. And so it says $270 for insurance. I guess that's health insurance. So as an employer, you know, it's about $500 per person, you know, Blue Cross Blue Shield. So if you're paying half and the employee's paying half, that's about right, around $250. So $400 in groceries per month. You know, okay, one person, fine. $615 in donations. I mean, that seems a little peculiar. I don't know what's going on with that. If that's OnlyFans donations or once a week at the Fuzzy Banana. But it's also thinking, if you think like the 20% goes to Jesus, so maybe that's what's going on here. But at this point, you know, at 25, unless he has a very large, considerable amount of savings, I would not do that. But anyway, we'll talk about that. $250 for dining. It's pretty frugal. I mean, because I spent $250 ordering Grubhub a couple times. $195 in utilities. It's actually kind of high, I guess, for one person. You know, I got a condo in upstate Pennsylvania, and it's usually $100 to $150, and, you know, I got the whole place to myself. That's winter and cooling. But anyway, $130 on transportation. I'm assuming out of this, there's no car payment, so I guess the guy's taking a bicycle. So that's pretty frugal, $130 transportation. Maybe that's because sometimes he takes the bus, I don't know. Bus pass. $40 cell phone. That's like dirt cheap. The average person is not paying $40 on a cell. But $40, $45, that's like Cricket, maybe the prepaid T-Mobile, stuff like that. $30 house cleaner. $30 house cleaner. Maybe she cleans one plate every other Tuesday or something, because that just seems really useless. Especially if you're being frugal, why would you have a house cleaner, housekeeper, whatever? $20 for the internet. That's just impossible. I don't know where they got that. It seems like the cheapest internet I could possibly find anywhere in the country is on a first-year contract, special pricing, $50 to $60 per month, and that's not even good internet. So I don't know where they pulled this. Some of these things, they're supposed to be reasonable, something that you can relate to, try to apply to your life, but a lot of these things are just, it's insane. I forgot, the rent's $825 in rent. You know, I don't know. Guys living frugal. Some of the theories that were going around is maybe this guy has roommates, right? This would kind of make sense that way. $20 internet, like I said, a reasonable internet, you're talking about $80, right? So you'd have 3 roommates. So you got 4 people living in a place, which would explain the bicycle, because maybe they're living in a city. San Francisco, New York City, very expensive. So $825 a month in rent. Alta City, you've got to, it's $3,200 a month. Can you get a 4-bedroom apartment for that? I don't know. Not really. Maybe it's a non-San Francisco, New York. Maybe just an average city. So, okay. Here's the thing. So you got the internet fits, right? And the house cleaner would make sense, because you time for, it's $120. Maybe she comes once a week. Well, once a month to clean just the living room and kitchen, maybe? I don't know, that too. Like, it just, I don't know, maybe $20 an hour. Maybe you could fit that in there for the common areas. Again, not something certainly frugal. You could rotate. You could rotate with your roommates. One gets 1 week, one gets the other week. But whatever, you know. So that kind of fits in to everything. What still wouldn't make sense to me is the $195 in utilities. So you're paying $200 per person in utilities. If you got 4 people living in a place, that's $800 a month. $800 a month. That's a lot of money. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. That still doesn't make a whole lot of sense with me. But see, here's what I would do. Okay, so let's just go back or go forward and go to my version. Okay, $100K a month. You're still saving half. That's good, right? The $615, we just rebalance that, and I would add it Instead of going donations, I would cancel that OnlyFans stuff. No more Fuzzy Banana. No more whatever he's got going on there. No more church on Sunday. Whatever. Or you go and you just don't. Anyway, and you rebalance that to, groceries, a little bit to dining. See what's going on with that utilities. You may need to audit that shit. It's maybe one of your roommates is screwing up. And just balance it out. So the internet's a little higher, stuff like that. It would have enough to cover these things, right? Let's talk really about the savings. So the 401k is the most important. Well, not the most, but we'll start with that. Unbeknownst to a lot of people, they think put as much as you can in 401k. Not really. It's not as beneficial as you think. What you want to do is put the most that your employer will match. So it's a vested period of time, right? Sometimes you vest it after 5 years, sometimes after 3. What that means is a certain percentage of vestment of what the employer puts in. Then if you quit, you can actually get it. It gets complicated. Generally, that's what it means. Usually it's something like 5 years, sometimes less. So just if your employer matches up to 5% of your paycheck, you put 5% towards your 401k. Because the 5% your employer's putting in is free money. And if you get control of that 401k, like let's say Merrill Lynch or something like that, you can kind of diversify. Sometimes it gives you a couple of options of where you can put your money. You don't necessarily want to keep it all in the company. Unless you really, love your company. You're working for Square or something, or Peloton, I don't know, or Spotify. Anyway, so you do that, right? Then you got your Roth IRA, regular IRA, stuff like that. Some of those have like a $5,000 a year tops. Anyway, you fill them in, is what I'm saying. Now you got your big one, right? Which is your cryptocurrency and your traditional brokerage account, self-managed, hopefully. You don't want to do a lot of management. You don't want to, on the stock side of things, got ETFs, index funds, boom, right? S&P 500. You want to get a little bit more diverse. Go in tech. Invest in what you understand. That's what I always tell people. Invest in what you understand. You're better off investing in what you understand than over-diversifying and stuff you don't understand. You'll also be a little bit more comfortable with taking a little short-term loss if it's on something you understand. That's why I'm heavily invested in tech. I understand tech. Doesn't matter if some tech gets hit. I know enough about tech that I will invest in the companies that will profit even during a pandemic. I capito. So as long as you have a deep understanding of something, that's what you want to invest in. As far as crypto, like I said, I'll do a 60-40. 60% of your goes in traditional investments, 40% goes into cryptocurrency. But that's because I'm a risk taker. You should invest based on your goals. It's easy to say that, but what are your goals? What is the timeline? Realistically, what are you trying to achieve? Think about it. You want a home, you want a car, retirement, marriage, kids. What do you really, or you're just trying to get 1 million, you're trying to get 10 million, you're trying to get to 100 million. This is important with your risk tolerance because when I decided early on I wanted to make, this or that or the other, when I decided I wanted to make the first 1 million, well, fortunately I made that on income. But when you set a goal, you just have to think realistically how much money I got to come up with. If you got to put 250K in something and you look at the historic returns and it's, doubling every year, you got a good chance of doing 50%. These are the things that, you're going to invest in. And some people, my nose itches. Anyway, some people are going to tell you that's unrealistic. Some people are going to tell you that's too much risk. But if you're young, it's not too risky. Look at what Tesla's done. Look at what Amazon has done. And look at what a lot of other companies. My personal portfolio in stocks has gone up almost 40% just in the past 90 days. And I'm mainly invested in Square, Spotify, and I talk about these companies all the time. So it's not impossible. You invest in what you know. You diversify your portfolio. Technology is a really good place to be. And you let it ride. Why is technology a good place to be? Well, because everything is gearing to technology. Technology companies are going to dominate S&P 500. They're going to dominate the stock market as a whole as things move forward. And the cutting edge of that technology is cryptocurrency and decentralized applications, blockchain. This stuff is changing how we do business, how we bank, and how we interact with each other and payment solutions. So it's something that's going to develop even more in years to come. So it's very much in its infancy. People that are heavily invested into it know this, okay? And like you guys said, my early on Chainlink, Ethereum, and Tezos. Chainlink has gone up so much. It's this year alone, it's like playing lottery, like 10xing. What are you going to do? Okay, I'm gonna go in another video. We're gonna really talk about figures and stuff, but I just wanted to counter this kind of pie chart, give you one of my own as far as investments and what I think. I want to get a little bit more into detail into this, but what do you guys think of this CNBC chart? What things do you think are more realistic? Do you think this guy is doing well? Can you even really consider someone doing well if they don't tell you where they're allocating their savings? For all we know, this guy could throw this shit in some treasury bonds and some CDs and think that he's going to retire a millionaire. I don't know. And he might, but maybe 1 million. But I don't know. What do you guys think, and where are you guys keeping your investments? The biggest thing with this, it's easy to save money when you have money. This guy's living on $2,700 a year. I mean, $2,700 a month and saving their other half. That's great, but there's a lot of people that $2,700 a month is all they have. So you have to have a combination of ingenuity and business acumen to try to raise your own income before you can save. And the sooner you do that, the longer you'll be able to save. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, buy red and sell green.